Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the posts, giving you my own opinion, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Originally posted to r/relationship advice. My, 28 male, girlfriend, 25 female, is fixated on cleaning our apartment and it's ruining our relationship. I don't know what to do now. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 3 years and living together for a year and a half. Everything was going really well until my girlfriend started a new job that requires her to travel Thursday through Monday every week for the next 8 months. It's her dream job, and the travel is taxing but temporary. She works a minimum of 12 hours a day while out and usually works closer to 16 to 18 hours. She comes home exhausted, which is understandable. But the next day she comes home, she deep cleans the entire house and then is pissed off afterwards. I have never asked her to clean on her days off and just want to spend time with her, but she comes home upset and says she needs to clean first. She exhausts herself more and then does not want to spend any time with me until she leaves again, and this cycle repeats. I don't think I leave the home in complete disarray while she's gone, and I work too, so I don't have the time to do the deep cleans that she does. She gets more and more irritable each week, and she finally blew up. I had to move our mattress before she left to move stuff from our bed frame, but I didn't have time or energy to put it back before she came home. I had to move our mattress before she left. Didn't have time or energy to put it back before she came home. That's 4 days. She was very angry with me, and she said she's tired of me not doing my part and leaving the house disgusting for her when she comes home, and that she's sick of being the only one who cleans the house when I work a cushy 9 to 5, and she works at least 70 hours a week away from home. I told her I don't see the mess, and I'm sorry about the mattress, but I truly didn't have the time or energy to do it. I told her I feel like something else is going on, and she got so mad at me and left the house. I don't know what to do now because we used to be such a happy couple. I feel like I can't speak to her because she just doesn't want to be around me when I'm home. I need help on how to salvage this relationship. Okay, so girlfriend recently started a new job that requires travel where she's gone for 4 days, Thursday through Monday. Gives me the soft impression that before she probably got that new job, she was home a lot more often and able to do minor touch-up cleaning throughout the week. Now, initially, when I was first reading the first few paragraphs, I would have sided with OP that it feels like there's more going on here, but after hearing the final paragraph, I agree, there is more going on here, and it's OP's behavior. Before she left, she watched you disassemble the bed frame and take the mattress off the bed, and then she got home to find the bed in the exact same state that it was in. She's gone Thursday through Monday, which that includes Saturdays and Sundays. During those days, did you really not have a single moment of spare time to be able to fix the bed so that way you both had a place to sleep? After you disassembled the bed, were you just sleeping on the couch then because you were too lazy to put the bed back together? And it's that one example that really makes me view the entire situation in a new light. Because if you don't have the energy to assemble the bed so you have a proper place to sleep at night, then what are you doing during the time that she's gone for cleaning? Because my assumption is nothing. And when she is cleaning, what are you doing? Are you just standing around and watching her? And I mean, again, you have the mental and physical ability to dismantle and move the bed frame and mattress, but you just leave it like that. Was she the one who had to put it back together so she would have a place where she could actually comfortably sleep after coming home from 5 days worth of work? Buddy, if you want to quote-unquote salvage the relationship, take note of what she cleans and make sure that shit is done before she gets home. I guarantee she will be in 100% better mood if she comes home and finds the house clean. Also, not to mention, last time someone told me that they don't see the mess, the house was in fact a mess. And I believe the more accurate term was they couldn't comprehend the mess. Also, I went to check OP's comment history or anything along those lines in hopes of finding at least some kind of clarification of what they considered to be deep cleaning, and nothing. So, after the bed frame, I'm kind of inclined to believe that OP doesn't really do any cleaning around the house, like whatsoever, from dishes to laundry to anything. And then the girlfriend is stuck coming home to a messy home and feeling like she has to spend one of her days off deep cleaning. Which means that while she's coming home from work after 16 to 18 hours of working every day, she's not coming home knowing she gets to relax, she's coming home knowing she has to clean up after her boyfriend's mess. And then on one of these instances, she got home expecting to clean, but then found the bed disassembled still. I can kind of understand why she would be upset. But as per usual, let me know what you think in the comments. Did I miss something? Did I overlook something? Perhaps my sleep deprivation has gotten the best of me, and I am not looking at this fairly. Please let me know. Originally posted to r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for expecting my wife to keep the same responsibilities after a career change? Made a throwaway so I, 35 male, could post this. My wife, female 40, recently changed careers and has started a new job. I have been supportive throughout her entire career change and tried to help her in any way possible along the way. However, things have changed since she started the job. She's much more exhausted when she comes home from work compared to before, and instead of dealing with this and managing change, she expects me to cater to her schedule when I have my own work schedule to still manage. Her old work schedule was 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. because she started work around the same time our kids, 10 male and 7 male, had to be at school. She would wake them up and get them ready in the morning and make sure they got to school. I don't do this because I wake up between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. every day, and she was waking up around the same time they needed to, so it made sense. I work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Her new job is working 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Same amount of work hours per day as me. Our kids need to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to make it to school on time. I figured she would start getting them ready after coming back from work and go to sleep afterwards, since she had this responsibility before. Plus, it would only be an extra hour of staying awake maximum. When we discussed how our new schedules would be with her new work hours, she was expecting me to start waking up early to get the kids ready instead of her. I am not a morning person, and she functions much better early than I do. I said this expectation is unfair to me because I still have my own work schedule to manage, and it shouldn't be on me to change that for a career move she decided to make under no pressure from me. She thinks I'm being inconsiderate and expecting too much from her. It's been tense between us ever since we argued about this, and it feels like an elephant in the room. Am I the asshole? I suppose my first question would be is, what does OP do for the kids? Do you take care of them in the night? Do you put them to bed? Do you make them dinner? Do you pick them up from school? I mean, I would assume not, considering you don't get off work until 7 p.m., so that makes me assume that dinner and getting them home from school and all that stuff is the responsibility of your wife. Because if you two do split the responsibilities evenly, then perhaps just simply rearranging what each of you do would be the best option. I'm trying to be as much benefit of the doubt here as I can, because personally, I don't think he's doing anything to take care of the kids, considering he doesn't get home until 7. But, like, after a graveyard shift, your body is done. Like, unless you are a hardened, honest-to-God night owl like me, the graveyard will take your brain and do some unholy fucking things to it. It is not fun what happens to your body and mind during a graveyard shift. And when she's getting home at 6 a.m., I guarantee she's probably wanting to get to bed. But instead, because her husband would rather sleep in for a bit later, she has to now wake the kids up at 6:30, go through the morning routine, and get them to school whenever that might be. Then she gets to go to bed. Okay, I take back all the benefit of the doubt I gave. I just read some of OP's comments. The wife handles nights. The most he does is watch TV and play Uno with them. According to him, that's straight from the horse's mouth right there. Other thing is, they did discuss the new job arrangement, and he did agree to temporarily take over mornings, but he's expecting for mornings to just simply fall back onto the wife after she adjusts to the new time schedule. He is expecting this as her schedule. She wakes up, picks the kids up from school, gets home, makes dinner, takes care of household responsibilities, kids in bed by 9. She then goes to work, gets home at 6, gets the kids up for school, takes the kids to school, goes to bed. That's the schedule that he wants her to have. Meanwhile, he sleeps until 9 a.m., sometimes 10 a.m. if he feels like it, goes to work, comes home at 7 p.m., plays Uno/watches TV with the kids, does what he wants, goes to bed. But oh no, he's not a morning person, so she should be considerate of that. Am I the asshole for refusing to accept that my wife actually wants a divorce after I said we're separating 4 months ago? My wife, 30 female, and I, 33 male, have been married for almost 10 years. We have 2 kids, 5 female and 3 male. I own a restaurant in our city and she's an elementary school teacher. 4 months ago, we had a very explosive argument that ended in me saying that we should separate. I told my family that we were separating that day. And then she would not let me in her house. I've had to live with my parents and she will barely let me see my kids. I have tried to be more involved with helping the kids with bedtime and such when she will let me, but she is so cold to me and doesn't seem to want me around. I've been begging her for us to go to a couples therapist, but she doesn't seem to want to at all. I want to work on our marriage and she doesn't. Fast forward to now, she wants a divorce. She has a lawyer and told me that I should get one. She says I have not been a good partner to her for years. She said she's so tired of doing everything in the house and with the kids, but she chose that. She's only a part-time teacher, working half a day, and I run a whole business myself. I have a very demanding job that can end up having long hours. It's a small business, so I have a lot of tasks, and it's demanding and exhausting, so I usually just get home and shower and go to sleep as I have to get up at 4 a.m. the next day. I'm working so hard to provide for my family, and now the whole thing is falling apart. I love my family, and I don't want my kids to go through their parents divorcing. I want her to put her effort in and go to therapy and work together so our marriage doesn't fail. So, am I the asshole? Okay, my 2 biggest problems are 1, it sounds like that by his own admission, he's pretty disconnected from his family. He wakes up, goes to work at 4 a.m., gets home, showers, goes to bed. And trust me, I understand that sometimes a job just requires a lot from you. It's going to be physically, emotionally, and mentally taxing, and it's also going to be taxing on those around you. The most important part is how you balance that, and it sounds like OP is not balancing it. I'm adding this not because I'm dismissive of how much effort OP is putting in, but how much their efforts have been not just taxing on himself, but taxing on the loved ones around him. The next part, and honestly the most important part, is the fact that you got into an explosive argument with your wife, did not tell us a modicum of what it's about, and then not just told your wife, but your entire family that you are separating that night. And then were shocked when 4 months later, after no longer living in the same home as your wife, were surprised to find divorce papers. Like, if I were to grab my tinfoil hat and put it on here, I would say the husband probably wanted to put this out there to, threaten separation to get his wife to come crawling back to him, so that way he could hold other cards of power. But in this instance, he threw the ultimatum out, and instead got a very hefty return to sender thrown right back his way. Like, if my tinfoil hat theory is incorrect, then I cannot fathom what possible outcome he was expecting, especially when he put no effort into fixing the marriage until after the divorce papers were thrown his way and didn't even recommend therapy or any kind of relationship-mending methods until after his wife had hit them with the divorce papers. Like, homie was throwing rocks while living in a house of cards. Like, I don't know what he was expecting. Originally posted to r/relationships, and this one's a bit of a journey. The post that was posted to r/AmITheDevil is an update. Specifically, update. My mother, 52 female, accused my boyfriend of being a pet to the cops. He broke up with me. How is this my fault? So, let's take a look at the first post to figure out how we even got into this mess. r/relationships. My, female 21, boyfriend, male 25, is too attached to somebody else's daughter. Is this too big a red flag? A little background on how I met the love of my life. Last Christmas, a list at the restaurant where I work got passed around. It was a list of Christmas presents for kids at an orphanage. I was heartbroken that none of the kids asked for toys. It was all shoes, blankets, and clothes. Kids were wanting just bare needs things. Then I found out that it was a regular customer who comes into our restaurant who brought the list for us to donate gifts. All the girls I work with gush over him. He's really hot and has a huge heart and volunteers for kids' charities locally. All the girls crush on him, so I thought there was no chance. Then he asked me out to lunch a few months ago, and we've been going out since March. I knew that he has an ex that is a single mother. Her daughter is 4. I spent the night at my boyfriend's all the time, and I noticed the little girl calls him a lot. I used to think that it was such a good sign that he cares so much about helping kids that aren't even related to him. I thought he was so unique that way. I could see signs of him being a great dad. But he spends a lot of money on his ex's daughter. When anybody brings up her name, he turns into mush. I'm not sure if he's still emotionally into his ex. He's too involved in the daughter's life. He sings to her at night on the phone to put her to sleep like every other night, and he goes to all her doctor's appointments and other regular dad stuff. I can't imagine why any man would be so invested in somebody who is not their real daughter. I used to think it was his charitable side, but this is way too much. He spent all day at the hospital when she broke her arm and has a picture of her with her cast on as his wallpaper on his phone. I'm in love with him, but I can't compete with her. She's everything to him. This is my first time being so in love with anybody, and I think I'm not enough. At first, it was cute and endearing, but now I feel like a total second fiddle to this little girl, and I feel horrible for trying to compete with her. It's once in your life that we find someone who is just a perfect fit for us. But mine is just too invested in other people other than me, and I feel in the way. I also feel like a selfish jerk wanting all his attention and energy all to myself. On a side note, we've been together for months now, and I still don't know why he spends so much time and money on children's charities. I ask him, and he gives vague answers. I think that there is something deeper going on with him because it's just not normal for somebody to do all that he does. My mom agrees that something is up with him, but that he just doesn't trust me enough to tell me. I wish I knew how to get him to open up. I don't know how to ask the right questions. Does he just not trust me? It makes me really sad because I love his dedication to the cause, but I don't know what drives him. I know he was raised by a single mom, but so are a lot of people. I'm getting sidetracked, so I'll get back to the real question. What is up with him and his ex's daughter? Is this something I'll have to accept forever? It's like a total father-daughter relationship without the actual blood bond. Just in case anybody wonders, no, she is not his bio daughter. Edit to add that he's not the average guy for his age. He's educated and totally focused on his career. At first, I thought it was so great that he could care less about video games, which most guys my age are still into, but he's so much more than that. I fall in love with him all over again when I see him interact with his ex's daughters, but it does make me feel less important. Just my luck that my dream man has more important things in mind than me. I also feel like a spoiled brat for ranting about this. I am a little conflicted that way. My mom always points that out. Too long didn't read, my boyfriend is too attached to his ex's daughter. Am I being too unreasonable in worrying about this? Now, before we get into the update post that ended up on AmITheDevil, I just want to add that it doesn't have to be a blood-related child for you to have a father-daughter relationship with them. It could very well be the case that he raised her, that he was there for her during her first steps, her first words, and all of that. And yeah, despite there not being a blood connection, that could very well just be his daughter. So, now that we move on to the next post and we have the full context, let's, brace ourselves. Reminder for what the title is. Update. My mother, female 52, accused my boyfriend of being a pedophile to the cops. He broke up with me. How is this my fault? For some time now, my mom has thought it was weird that my boyfriend spent too much time and money with children's charities and not enough time with me. He also spends a lot of time with a little girl that is not his daughter. Before we go any further, I just want to quote a sentence from the previous post. My mom agrees that something is up with him, but that he just doesn't trust me enough to tell me. My mom agrees. So let's not pretend or attempt to wipe our hands away from your mother's opinion that certainly didn't come from nowhere. Anyways, she sometimes calls him Dad even though she knows he's not, and most of the time she just calls him Elliot. Next thing I know, my boyfriend calls me and tells me that he despises my mother, and he would rather never see her again. Then he tells me that he's moving on without me. One of his friends at the police department tipped him off that my mom had called to tell them he might be a pedophile. and that she was worried about the little girl he spends time with. I thought these things were supposed to be kept private, but somebody told him, and they told him who accused him. She even said she asked to be kept anonymous. I asked my mom 20 times and she denied it every time. Then I called one of her friends and told her that my mom told me what she had done. This lady immediately goes on to tell me how my mom did the right thing, and apparently she has been talking to everybody about it, like all her friends. When I finally called her to tell her that her friend ratted her out, she fessed up to it. The cops told her there is nothing to back up her claims. He's involved with 2 children's charities that are run by the police department as an administrator. He organizes an auction and does budgeting stuff, which is similar to what he does for a living. The other 2 charities involve gathering gifts every Christmas for children in foster care and delivers them to a warehouse. He teams up with an ex-girlfriend for this one, which is the only weird part. Then he donates money to a middle school for music instruments every year, but again, he just writes a check and they invite him to show up to some of the performances and get a reward plaque. But he has 0 actual contact with children in any of the charities. The only girl he has contact with is his ex-girlfriend's daughter, a different ex-girlfriend. Okay, so the cops are kind of friends of his now, and my mom said that they were very threatening to her when she accused him the second time and every time thereafter. Okay. Because she was insisting they are not doing enough to investigate him. I told Elliot that I had nothing to do with my mom and he didn't even listen. He just told me that he's not going to do this. I feel like the rug has been pulled from under me. I don't see how this is my fault. This is the guy that I have really loved and that I want to spend my whole life with. But my mom is also not backing off at this point. It has become like she's on a mission, and it's only making things worse. Edit, I think everybody's misunderstanding me. I never found his charity work to be a bad thing. I just was wondering what motivated him. It's not normal for guys his age to be that committed to that cause. What I did find weird was his relationship to his ex-girlfriend's daughter, but that was because I was a little jealous that the ex was using her little girl to get back with him. What if your boyfriend can't go out with you on Friday night because that's pizza night with his ex-daughter and his ex? Then Sunday is movie night and Saturday morning is breakfast day, and that's not even counting putting her to sleep on the phone nightly and pretty much spending time with her every day of the week. Yes, that's a little much when you're trying to spend time with your boyfriend and he's that unavailable. And it's a little weird. It doesn't mean I don't love him or much less that I think he's a pedophile. Too long didn't read, my boyfriend broke up with me because my mom is going after him and I can't control my mom. I get the vibe from OP that they don't really find it to be that big of a deal that their mother's accused her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of being a pedophile. And I get that vibe from the little tidbits and comments such as she even said she asked to be kept anonymous. When finding out the fact that, hey, your mother's going behind your back and going to the police and trying to accuse him of being a pedophile because he has a non-blood related daughter. And to further that, a lot of the points that OP brings up in this isn't about the fact of how apologetic they are for the fact that their mother has not once, not twice, but numerous times gone to the police station to attempt to accuse her ex-boyfriend of being a pedophile. And her problem is not that, but it's that she feels that her ex-boyfriend has overreacted by breaking up with her. And additionally, she's more concerned with the police breaking their confidentiality when her mother asked to be anonymous when reporting her ex-boyfriend as a pedophile, instead of, what her mother's doing. Like, imagine if you found out that your partner's mother was going to the police numerous times and reporting you for being a pedophile, for maintaining a relationship with the daughter that you essentially raised. You probably wouldn't tolerate that shit either. Also, gotta love the small minor detail of when things are going all right and, she's secure in the relationship. It's her and her mother both agree that it's strange that he does this. But when things go haywire and rocky, it's, for some time now my mom has thought it was weird. Devil's in the details. Originally posted to r/relationship advice. How do I, 28 female, get my boyfriend's, 26 male, brother, 30 male, to understand my dad, 55 male, and I are not picking on him? My boyfriend and I are hitting that 3-year mark. We live together now and everything is going great. My boyfriend and I are starting to discuss marriage. Now, with that, our families are starting to interact more. We had a big dinner where my family and his family came together to know each other. Now, the thing about my family, we joke on each other and that's just what we do. It's all love though. Here's the thing. My brother's boyfriend is a nice guy, but we were warned he's sensitive and doesn't like to be joked on. We didn't know he was that sensitive. My dad started cracking jokes because my brother's boyfriend is very skinny compared to my boyfriend who is ripped. The jokes were harmless about how he looks like the little brother, and my dad nicknamed him Bones because he's just skin and bones and no muscle. Eventually, he got so bothered he left the table, and my boyfriend's parents, and my mom were both mad at my dad and I. There's more to it, but that's the gist. I just want him to understand that we are just joking, and we also do that to each other. We just joke around, but it's all love at the end of the day. While we can get used to the fact he's more sensitive, he should make an effort to not get in his feelings over a joke. In my family, anyone can get it. That's just what we do. You laugh and say something back. Okay, but that's not your family though. That's your boyfriend's family. It honestly just sounds like your dad's a bully and is just trying to use the excuse of, oh, we're all family, as a reason to be an asshole. Like, does he treat everyone like that, even outside the family? Also, with the comment, there's more to it, but that's the gist, it makes me feel like you guys probably said a lot more than just making fun of his image. Like, y'all went into that dinner knowing that he wouldn't be a fan of being quote-unquote joked on, which according to you is different than being picked on, considering the title, and you two made no effort whatsoever to even try to restrain yourselves, instead going right for the throat with going after someone's body image, which could be a pretty sensitive subject for some people. Like, with the way that you talk about how you and your father act, it leads me to believe that this is just how you two are. That you guys are just assholes to everyone in your day-to-day life. Like, can you not turn that off for one person at the dinner table? Because if you can't turn that side of you off even in public, then you're an asshole. But if you're actively choosing not to turn that side of you off when you can turn it off in public, then you're the asshole. Especially because it sounds like you guys kind of singled him out, and you ended the Reddit post with, while we can get used to the fact that he's more sensitive, he should make an effort to not get in his feelings over a joke. That comment says a lot about OP, and all the circumstances surrounding it definitely paint OP and her father in a very unflattering light. Like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with, like, mutual clowning on behavior. As long as both parties are in on it and understand the circumstances of that kind of humor and that kind of joke, then there's no issue with it. That's just your love language and it's how y'all just joke around and have a good time. But if someone is not appreciative of that kind of humor and you're even made aware of it beforehand and decide to still go for the throat, you're just an asshole. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.